Hello, 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 my friends. Well, yesterday I did a watercoloring and markers in this book of, I think this one's different. Let me look. Okay, this one is the Underwater by Rita Berman. I was just gonna see, thought I wrote it down. Oh yeah, the world under glass magnifying, under the magnifying glass. So anyway, this is the back page of this book, and the pages are so nice in these. I haven't done any prep work to the top. I did not put this Daniel Smith's transparent watercolor ground. I have not done anything to this at all. So I've started and nothing is coming through, but I do use a regular watercolor brush. This one is by Billy Showall, but you can get them anywhere. This is a number 2, which is probably, besides the smallest one, to get into tiny, tiny spots, but this one will pretty much get into anything because you can see what a fine tip it has. And like with all of these, you just keep rotating them to keep your tip straight. And so what I've done is I'm just watercoloring with my Hobart watercolors. It's a half pan set, and it is by Hobart. But you could use, actually, if you even went to like any place and just got a regular little children's set of watercolors to play with, probably under $5. I don't have any clue anymore, so $5 used to be $1.50 or something like that, but at this point I don't know what it would be. But you can use any kind of watercolor if you wanted to try this with watercolors or your pencils. I just wanted to try it and see what's going to happen when I start watercoloring without anything on the background. And this is the last page, so if I mess it up, it's not like in the middle of my book and it's all you know, like, oh no, that kind of thing. So I started this and I thought, wait, stop, let's just go ahead and record it. So I have the little pan that's inside, and I have my color in here, and I'll just keep diluting it. And if you get that little children's set of watercolors, they actually work well. But I had done regular watercoloring paintings, so I do have a better set, and Hobart is one of the better qualities of paints that I like. Winsor Newton, there's lots of them. And you know, just what videos you watch and who you want to listen to is what you're going to get, which is fine. Because I got there's so much going on in the world to start with, and who do you listen to, and what do you listen to, and you know, you don't want to be deceived, and you don't want to know things that aren't true, and I found even on, you know, trying to learn different things on YouTube, everybody's got their own idea and their own formulas, and I think they listen to a lot of other people, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But I just got kind of, I'm just to that point right now. I just want to learn what I want to learn and do what I want to do and just have fun with it, and not always be tied up in so many things. I just want to enjoy. So my channel is about just enjoying the arts in whatever form. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but it's kind of like, I'm so tired of a million people telling you what is right and what is wrong, and what is right or wrong. So you just got to kind of take the best of what you learn, and you go experiment. You have fun with the crafts and, you know, the different art things. It just has nothing to do with, I don't know. I don't even know for sure what I'm trying to tell you, but I'm just saying, just relax and have fun. Try new things. These color books are so much fun and so relaxing, and I know people are, you know, I don't know. I'm just going to do what I see. I seem to do better when I just listen to myself and experiment a little bit. I don't get everything right. I don't. And that's why sometimes I'm harder on myself than other people are. So I've kind of went around the edge. And now I'm going to start pulling that color into this lighter part. And one nice thing about watercolors is you can manipulate them and play with them a lot. You can even take your brush on better watercolor paper and almost wipe out whatever you've done. It's like erasing it. So I'm just using clear water now that I put all this down. But the thing is, if you're using a watercolor brush, even if you went and just got you 2, or just one this size, a number 2, I'd probably do this whole picture, even the littlest, tiniest things, with this brush. And I love this brush by Billy Showall. And I don't know if you can get them online. I don't know. I took her around. Now, if you can see, I took her classes online and did a lot of, and it is so much fun. And she's a very good teacher. But you can see how it's darker around the edges, and as I pulled the water through the paint, it gave me the highlight that I love. And like, to come back in here and do these little things, you'd want this to dry up more if you're not going to use the same color. So we're going to move on. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is I made my little puddle of color like you would have in a little tray. But then my edges, excuse me, my edges, I would come in and dip. I have a little puddle of water in the middle. And I would just dip and come back in here right along the edges and darken and highlight. And one nice thing, if you got it too dark, you can use your watercolors water, and you can just keep diluting it. So watercolor in our color books could be a lot of fun. And so it is warm, so I have to keep putting a little bit of water in my little puddle. And I do kind of, when I do that, I just kind of pull my brush around like that. And what I'm doing is I'm taking out excess so it's not drippy. But this little brush holds a lot of water. And you always have to watch when you put it in your water thing that there's, when you rinse it out, there's little drips of water that will hang off, run up and down here, and it'll drop. So you just want to watch for that part. But I usually just come in with my lightest, kind of like I do my coloring. I just come in with my lightest color and fill it in. And then I'll go over and dip in my darkest color out of my palette of color. And see how you can do it this way too. And this is the strongest pigment because I'm taking it directly out of my little pan. And these are called half pans in this little book. Now, if you're going to put a whole bunch of water down and do like all this, I would just do it slowly because you're going to get buckling. Or use the Daniels and do your covering of your paper. I do love giraffes, so I am a little prejudiced here. I was so taken by this. I thought this is the perfect page. To try this out and see how it does in this book. And when I rinse my brush off in my clean water, I just roll it back and forth on my little Kleenex. I don't like that. I just roll it lightly because I don't want to take all the water out, but I want to take out the soppy water, if that makes sense. I'm not saying I'm any expert in this, but I'm just telling you what I know and what I've learned on my own. And when you're not making it quite so wet, it dries pretty quick in the summertime. I'm going to make these half dark. I'm dipping it into my pan. not on my water palette. Because I want these little things to be dark. And then I'll water it down. Just looking to see if I turn my little heater on underneath my coffee, and I did. I used to have one of those little tea makers, kind of like a coffee pot, but it made tea. And I probably picked it up at a garage sale or something, I don't know. But I used the little hot plate thing to keep my coffee warm. And it works better than those little ones you buy that you set your hot drink on. It keeps it hot. Not lukewarm, but hot. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse my brush, roll it, and let's see if this is going to work. I'm just going to pull the color around. Just softening the hard line. But I still want it to be dark. Watercolor is one thing that I can't do fast. Not and get the effect I like. It just takes time. There, I like that. Alright, so back to our little pan. The little solid piece of paint. There's a little bow right in there. Now, if I was using lots of water in here, this page will get real buckly. But I'm not. With a watercolor brush, you have more control of your water. And we're doing a small area, so it's not like we're doing the whole thing. Oops. And you can leave a little white. The secret to a good watercolorist is to leave some white. Just like the way we color. Not that I'm so good at leaving white. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. And it's just hard for me to leave white. Alright, so she's got these little things in her ears here. I don't know. They're supposed to be little flowers. So, I think I'm going to wait on that. And I think I'm just re-wetting my little palette where I've got the water. And I think right in here, I'm going to bring I can see it's starting to buckle more because I'm using more water in a bigger area. Buckle means the paper is absorbing the water and swelling. But it's not too bad. No, it's not too bad at all. Normally, like right here, I made a little puddle of color. That's what you would do. By just going over the top and just letting that water with the color in it just kind of do its thing. But you want to be careful because on this paper it's not going to let you do it as much as you'd like. And you do not want to go over and over and over your your whatever you're doing, because you can, this paper will peel quite easily. Now, wherever you put the water is where your paint's going to flow. So like if I come back in here and get some more color, it's going to flow right along where I put the water. It's not going to as much come into this area unless your paper is that absorbent to where it's just gonna go in there. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what happens. So I can just touch this and add more color. I'm putting a little more color in my palette from the and adding some water to water it down. Now I'm going to bring some more in. And I've already wet this, so I'm just going to touch it. And it's going to just flow. Kind of like a little stream with the color. I have a puddle there that I don't particularly want. So I just dry my brush, and I picked up all the water that way. Moving down, so I better move my book up a little more, huh? Picked up some of the darker out of my palette, out of my little petal of colors. I was going to take it out of there, but I kind of got everything around it wet. So I'm just darkening my top and bottom. I can darken my corners a little bit. Okay. I'm just watering down my little pan. And I'm just going to come in here with just a light. I just want it light. I'm going to come down around these little dots. Just a light color. Okay. I want these dark. I'm going to have to add a little bit more water to my pan because our little thing is drying up. Now you can do the same thing with your pencils. If you wanted to do this picture like this. Okay. Let me get my brush wet. I'm just gonna, whoops, sorry. I'm just gonna squeeze some water into my pan from my brush. And mix it up a little bit. Okay. All right, so all right, I'm going to rinse my brush because it's dry. always rinse it and then I roll it on my little paper towel or Kleenex. I use Kleenex. Why? Because that's what's handy. Alright, so I like that. So let's go ahead and do the other side. We're getting very, very little buckling, which is good. I have a lot of water in that, so I'm taking out some of that. And let's start up here again. See where I didn't go all the way to the corner there. May have gotten too much paint there. I'm going to rinse it off so I can blend it a little bit. Okay, I like how that's turning out. So let's go ahead and do inside the flowers. And the reason I'm going around the flowers is because if they're dry on the inside, when I put the darker color down, it's not going to spread out into the rest of it, out into this lighter color. Because what's dry is where it will stick, but if it's wet all the way through, it'll go all the way through when you put your color down. We're getting lighter and lighter because which is fine. So I'm going to do this other side. I'll give that one a little bit of time to dry. This little guy has such a sweet little face. It's going to make it pretty dark. When you go over your color, it does darken it up, so I didn't have enough paint in my brush the first time, so I'm going to try and just go over this a little bit too. Just right in here. Okay. And I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to come down here. do his nose. That. I'm going into my pan and I'm just getting some dark. Pulling it down. I went into my watered down. I'm just going to darken it. And it is a lot of water and it's trying to buckle, so I'm just moving the water around a little bit. It will be okay. Kind of pushing it up so that it'll just kind of blend up into that. Like that. And his bottom lip. Make it as dark as I can get it. And this is all the same color. Okay. Now we can come in here and darken our little flowers up. We might use a little bit of brown when we get done. Let's see, I think I'm gonna wet a brown just to let it start soaking in so we can get, I want to do these little dots in brown in the center of the little flowers. Okay. I'll make me a little puddle over here on my little palette of brown. I like that. But I think I need to put some eye drops in my eyes. Give me 1 second. Oh, getting away from it and looking at it again. It's very pretty. Boy, when you stare at something for so long and your eyes aren't blinking, you're just trying to make sure. Oh, that is really turning out pretty, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. I think we'll do these. In brown. It's kind of a reddish brown, so it's blending very, very nicely. Let's see, I've got it marked. It's burnt sienna. I'll put a little more water in there. It's drying up a little bit. I use these Citan. They have no preservatives in them for dry eyes, and it just feels like you're putting water in your eyes, but it just makes your eyes feel so much better. I've used different ones, and that one I think is the very best for remoisturizing your eyes when you're looking at something for a long time. In case anybody else has that problem. The ones that have, what is it? Is it paraffin? Can't remember what it's called. Makes my irritates my eyes, and it irritates after a while my around my eyes. It starts turning red like I'm allergic to it. But that one doesn't have anything like that in it, and it just cools my eyes right down. Your watercolor does dry lighter, so sometimes you just got to come back in and just give it another little coat. So if you're doing this with your pencils, I also have my, Inktense? Are they by Hobart too? If you have those, this would definitely work too. Where are my pencils by? Dewart Inktense. I have, I think, the 24 set of these. We'll have to try those too. And you would just use a piece of plastic or something, hard plastic, scribble on them, and it would work just like this little palette. Or you could color, and they're much more intent than the watercolor pencils. Let's see, I gotta get my little palette remade. And let's see, we're gonna do, I think, let's go back and do his little flowers up here in the brown. And when it dries, we'll come in with the yellow and come in behind it. And it has buckled it just a tiny bit, but nothing. I mean, when it dries and you close your book up for a little while, I watercolored with the Inktense on, what book did I do that in? And I ended up using my iron, putting a piece of computer paper over it, and ironing up as flat as I could get. I think that was in the Birdie book. And that was my first book that I colored so much in. I love that little book. We're gonna have to get it out and try it and see if I've improved. I just colored and colored and and colored in that little book. Okay. Might as well do this little flower the same way. You can see I've gotten way too much water on it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're gonna sop up a lot of this now that we got it down. And the center of it is wanting to pucker right away. Oops, I don't know what I did there. No, what it. And it'll be okay. Those big eyes looking at you, huh? Let's see. Alright, I think let the brown run down through that. In order for it to run, it's got to be wet. Okay, I like that too. We got just a little bit of a harsh line here. Hard line. I got a little brown in there, which I didn't want. I'm just going to wet it and take it out of there. Alright, this needs a little bit darker in here. Like that. I'm going to leave that there. Alright, let's work on his ears. I'm just going to cover it all. Okay, let's see, I need to get, whoops, hit you guys in the middle of everything. I gotta make another little puddle of paint. My yellow, because I was running out. What'd I do? I just went over everything. Okay. Taking some of that color out. I got out of the line there a little bit, so I'm going to see if I can wash it, fade it out. It's alright. Then we're just going to darken it right around the edges again. We're going to darken these little things, whatever they are. Just adding a drop of water to my little palette. Oh. Okay. It's getting close to lunchtime. My belly's telling me I'm hungry. I could drink some of my coffee. That always helps. Oh, okay, I forgot what we were doing. What were we doing? Wow, we got his head done. That only took us an hour and 15 minutes. So, make sure I'm in the frame here. Just letting some of the colors be heavier. This is a bigger area, so see how it does. It's wet, so I can just drop some of my color in there. And it will just dry in different shades. So, let's mix up some more brown. And I'm going to let that part dry, and I'm going to work on his little mane. So let that dry a little bit. And we can work on some of these. Trying to be careful and stay in my lines so it doesn't go flying out and So if it hits anything wet, it's going to go. Okay. I'm just letting some darker brown kind of give it some color. It's puckering pretty good because I've got a lot of water here. Right there it went. There's a wet spot there and it sucked that brown right into it. Which isn't too bad because it's just a little bit. Okay. You can see it's still sucking the brown in there. But you can stop it. There's no bleeding, but this is just watercolor. So I think let's switch to let's try our Dewart on the green leaves. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can find some greens. And here they are. Oh, those are the alright. Got my little color chart here. Let's pull a few greens. What do we got? Number 1320. I can't tell if that's a C, an L, doesn't matter. Apple green, 1400. And light green, 1540. So let's try the light olive. And the apple green, let's see what color that is. It's pretty bright. So I don't know how this is going to work, but let's see. Okay. Try not to press hard because it leaves marks, and then you have to work to get them out. I do have another little book underneath this book. Makes it a little more level. I haven't really played with these much. This paper does pretty good. I was just looking at his neck. It's buckled a little bit even though it's dry, but not too bad. So I think on the other page, other side, I am going to paint it with the Daniels, and then I'm going to try doing the same thing with these little, paint it with the same thing. I don't know which one. I pulled two pencils, the light olive and the L-O-N-I-A-N, Lorraine green? Maybe it's Lorraine green. See if there's a difference. Maybe it's a little darker, huh? I'm going to rinse that color out so I can keep this color more pure. It's not bad, is it? What other color green do we got? Fern green. What number is that? 1560. That's leaf green. Where's fern green? I think this is it. Well, this is fern. Oh, that is, okay. Let's try some of the fern green down here. And where's our light? Oh, here it is. I don't know, I'm just trying. I'm just mixing and trying. But I have this from the Hobart. Let's do these little ones. Oops, I got out of the line there. Okay. We got some little flowers. Let's see. Let's pull a purple. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I'm not being careful here. That made them pretty dark. A little dab will do you on this one. But as we know, they dry lighter, so. You might as well get these little guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of enjoying this. I'm curious to see what's going to happen when we put the Daniels on the other page, because she had a really thin book. It was the book, the video that I saw. I'm sorry, I watch, you know, like everybody, it's kind of my entertainment, watching videos. But she had that book with the big-eyed fish and animals, great big bubbly eyes. And she said the paper just really, really thin. And that's what she was showing us on. Okay, you're not seeing what I'm doing here, so let me move it down. I'm just catching all the rest of these little green. But to be honest, this is buckled some, but not too bad. So I think when it dries and I close up this book for, it's going to lay more flat. So I'm impressed with the paper in these books. This book anyway. I love how he turned out. And again, you can do that same thing in your, just your colored pencils. Okay. Oh, maybe we'll. Let's give this just a little bit. See what a touch will do you. See, I got a little drop. You can't see it, but I'll shake it off. Oh, you know what? That's charcoal gray. What did I do with my purple? Well, shoot. That's all you can say is, well, shoot. And that's what it's going to be, is a well, shoot. I'm putting that one way over there. I'll put my purple one over there. And what color we got? Leaf green. Let's try that one. And this one is, this one's fern. Well, let's just mix some of that in there. Okay. I have a Terry Madden watercolor brush that's a round brush and it's a little bigger, so let's try that one. It's one thing, I have lots of brushes. Okay. I'm just picking up a little color off of the end of that brush. I mean, on the end of my brush. Off of the pencil. To shade it. And that worked. Alright, we do have another little flower. I'm going to do the center. And let's see what happens. Well, that is better. And it was better to do this with a round brush. So, what do we got? Fern. I think I'll do some crocheting this afternoon. I started one of those, is it 6-sided granny squares? You do 2 of them, and then you put them together, and you got your arms, you got everything in it. So I'm trying to get versatile a little bit rather than just color all the time. Do some other things, rest my eyes. Oh, that's pretty. There's a little water drop. I wanted to fall on my paper and I wasn't going to let it. Even though you got scribbly lines, you can get them worked out pretty fast. These Inktense pencils are not cheap by any means. I was thinking you could do them on fabric and stuff, which I played with that a little bit. I didn't find that as satisfying. This is not as much fun. Okay, we're apple green and fur green. I like those two together. I like how you can use your brush and put down some color. All right. Let's switch it up a little bit. I am going a little faster because we're running out of time. If you go over 2 hours, it takes longer to download or upload or whatever I'm doing. And sometimes they don't even upload. You have to start all over again a couple hours later. It takes a good 2 to 3 hours to upload videos. Oh, there it is. It's in my hand. It's in my hand. Okay, what did we do with those? We think. Take this book out. Oops, that's not the color I wanted. Let's go a little darker. It's like, am I even in the frame? Seems like I'm way over here. I love how this giraffe turned out. I wanted to drip. I think with practice, this page is not curling that much. It really isn't. I'm very, very pleased. Quite pleased. Alright, let's see. I rinse my brush so my colors aren't continually coming into each other. Especially the dark, because that would have just destroyed that little bit of light I had in that leaf. Okay. 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 That's my thought. Wonder if we can find mallard green real quick. It's teal green. Field green, I don't want that. I want mallard. Mallard green. Okay. Here's my last minute thoughts. I'm just gonna try a little bit. Around the edges. All right, this one is too hard to manipulate. You got to get a lot of water on there. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take a little piece of plastic and put some of this down on here. Because I just got that way, way, way too wet. That was working. You have to remember your leaves are very easily ooh, we missed one there. That's all right. If I got it too dark, let's just act like we intended on doing that. very careful of overworking an area, because you can make the paper start peeling. And there we've dragged All right, I am going to let that dry and see how it works. Let me get it closer where you can see the colors for sure. What a sweet little face, isn't it? What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this. We went over just a tiny bit, but that's life. And so I'm gonna seal this one. I'm gonna get off of here and get this uploaded. I love this. I just think this turned out so pretty, and it's still pretty wet. And there's some buckling, but not much. Love you guys. Please give me a like if you like this. If you want to see more of these, let me know, because I'd love to try to do some different things too. I'm going to do them whether I film them or not. That's up to you guys. But I love you all. Remember, you're wonderful, you're amazing, and you're beautiful. You look in that mirror and you say, thank you for making me so beautiful. Because it's inside and out. If you're ugly on the inside, people start seeing you as being ugly on the outside. I don't care how pretty you are. It's what's on the inside. It starts coming out on the outside. And you're all amazingly wonderful. So please subscribe, like, and share. And y'all have a good afternoon.